Good day, everyone. Let's talk about manufacturing of hot dogs. To be presented by Candaroma, Casino Earl, Casino Sharia, Dacoroon, Edio, Estillore, and Zayas. First, let's talk about history of hot dog. It is believed that the first hot dogs, called a Dutch hand sausages, were sold by a German immigrant out of food cart in New York in 1860s, perhaps explaining how they acquired their canine name. Around 1870, a German immigrant by the name of Charles Feldman opened the first hot dog stand on Coney Island, and during that year he sold around 3,600 hot dogs in a bun. And in 1880, a sausage vendor in Saint Louis who gave white gloves to his customers to help them hold their hot sausages ran out of gloves and began giving them out inside a white bun instead. And by 1893, the hot dog was a favorite baseball park treat. Some believe this is because of Chris Bondier, the owner of the Saint Louis Browns and a local bar, who introduced hot dogs to be paired with beer. Hot dogs. Hot dogs are a type of processed meat that is created by combining chopped beef with a variety of curing agents, flavorants, and colorants. After that, the meat is filled into casings, cooked, removed from the casings, and placed in the final packaging. Despite the fact that the technology for creating hot dogs was discovered thousands of years ago, these pork products remain a favorite summertime dish. As we know, there are so many variety of hot dogs that we can see or buy in the supermarket, like hot dogs with cheese, chicken hot dog, pork hot dog, and it's not just only summertime. We can eat it also during breakfast or can be a snack if possible.
The video that we'll play right now discusses what is inside a hot dog. Now that we know what is inside a hot dog, such as the meat trimmings, the sodium nitrate, the spices such as the salt, the pepper, the garlic powder, and such, let us now proceed to the manufacturing process of hot dogs, how it is made, and how long does it take to make it. So the manufacturing process of hot dogs include meat products, which is made from animals raised on factory farms. Animals including cows, pigs, chickens, and turkeys are treated inhumanely on factory farms during their all too brief lives, living in cramped and filthy circumstances before being butchered for meat. Meat from chicken, pigs, cattle, or turkeys may all end up in a factory as hot dogs. So on the succeeding slides, my group will discuss each detailed part of the manufacturing process of hot dogs.
Good day everyone, I'm Frankyrex Zayas and I'm here to continue the report about the manufacturing process of hot dogs. So, factory workers add food starch, salt, and ground mustards to the mixture. They also add other flavorings which vary by region based on preference. So in the picture, it shows that the worker combines all the ingredients to the machine. So the next process is weight according to specification. A single hot dog is about 1.6 ounce or 45.36 grams. So on average, and contains anywhere from 5 to 7 grams of protein. It also contains about 13 grams of fat and 450 milligrams of sodium and 150 calories in a single hot dog. So the next is fill the casing. So when the hot dog filling is complete, it is sent to an automated stuffing and linking equipment. There, an emulsified meat blend is filled into casing using high pressure equipment. So in this part, dinhi na ginasulod ang hotdog sa kanang mga plastic nga tong kasagara makita sa hotdogs, kanang plastic niya nga wrapper. So mana siya nga dinhi ni siya nga process. So thank you all.
Number 6. Cook the hot dogs. The next stage is to link the filled casings, resulting in connected strands of hot dogs that are either cooked in a smokehouse or baked in a large-scale production oven. The hot dogs go into a smoker to get additional flavoring as they bake. Then, the hot dogs are covered in cold, salty water so they are chilled enough for packaging. Number 7. Cool the hot dogs and remove casing as needed. Cooked hot dogs are given a cold salt water spray at this step to prepare them for packing. The hot dogs are then rolled down to an automated peeling machine to have their cellulose shells removed, a quick procedure that can handle 700 hot dogs in a minute.
The hot dogs are pulled onto a conveyor. Workers slide them off into metal containers into a peeler machine to remove the casings. The machine can peel 700 hot dogs in a minute. When the cooking is done, the hot dog links are moved via a conveyor to an automatic peeler. During their trip, they are showered with water to help equalize their internal temperature. In the peeler, the cellulose casings are cut away, leaving only the bare hot dogs. It should be noted that this step is skipped by manufacturers who use natural casings. Package and box for distribution. Hot dogs are inspected before being wrapped in plastic casings and transported to food corporations for distribution. From the peeler, the individual hot dogs are transported to the packaging machinery. Here, they are lined up and placed on a plastic film. The films are folded and vacuum sealed to preserve the hot dog's flavor and increase shelf life. Printed on the films are all of the graphics and required text needed for marketing. The sealed packages are moved to a stamping machine, which prints on a freshness date. They are next transported to boxing devices, put on pallets, and shipped in refrigerated trucks to local supermarkets. The entire process of hot dog making, from receiving the metal to boxing up the hot dog, takes only a few hours. A worker makes sure the hot dogs are perfect and discards the flawed ones. Then a machine separates hot dogs into groups for packaging. Quality control is an extremely important factor in any food processing facility. For health and safety reasons, the government regulates all of the raw materials that are used in the hot dog making process. The meat in particular is heavily regulated because the use of poor quality meat represents a significant health risk. Most manufacturers only use high quality meats to assure that their hot dogs are of similar quality. Upon receipt of the raw materials, they are checked for things such as pH, percent moisture, odor, taste, and appearance to ensure they meet the previously set specifications. Additionally, the processing equipment is sterilized and checked before any processing can begin. During manufacture, the meat emulsion is continuously checked to assure that all the ingredients are put in at proper proportions. Since hot dogs are eaten, steps must be taken to ensure that they will have an appealing taste and be free from contamination. For this reason, tests similar to the ones run on the initial raw materials are performed on the final product.
Hot dogs are an all-American fare, but most likely it was German sausage makers who first came up with the idea. In fact, there are reports of German immigrants selling them from push carts in New York's Bowery as far back as the 1860s. A century and a half later, hot dogs are still the #1 treat on the street. Traditional hot dogs are made from a mix of pork, beef, and chicken. The cuts they start with are called trimmings, pieces of meat left over from cutting steaks or pork chops. The trimmings are ground the same way butchers chop up hamburger meat, by pushing the cuts through grated metal plates. Processed chicken trimmings are added to the ground meat, followed by food starch, salt, and other flavorings. These flavorings vary depending on where the hot dogs are to be sold, because people in different regions have different tastes. Water is sprayed into the mix, and everything is blended together in a big vat. Corn syrup adds a dash of sweetness. The addition of even more water helps to disperse the ingredients and make the hot dogs juicier. Another machine then purees the meat batter into a fine emulsion and vacuums out any air. Long rolls of cellulose tubing are loaded into the stuffing machine. It pumps the meat puree into these casings, twisting it every 5 1/4 inches, the length of one hot dog. It takes just 35 seconds to make a chain of hot dogs that would span a soccer field twice. Then, 3 of those hot dog chains are linked together to make an even longer string, and they're loaded several at a time into another machine which drapes the hot dogs onto moving racks. The process is carefully timed so that a twist always lands on the bar. The racks shunt the hot dogs through a liquid smoke shower, then into an oven with several cooking zones. The liquid smoke seeps through the casing and adds flavor to the dogs as they bake. hot out of the oven, these franks are drenched in cold, salty water to chill them in preparation for packaging. The hot dogs then file down to an unloading zone. Here, a machine pulls them off the bars onto a conveyor. Then, the hot dogs slide off the conveyor into metal containers. If you've been wondering about those black stripes on the casings, all is about to be revealed. The stripe is a marker attached to the casing. The absence of a black stripe means the hot dog is cooked and ready for packaging. Inside the peeler machine, a tiny knife slits each casing along the top. Then, steamy air blows the casings right off the dogs. This machine peels 700 hot dogs a minute. An inspector makes sure the casing has been completely removed and that there are no defects in the dogs. Then, it's into a device that looks like a plastic bicycle chain. The sprockets position the hot dogs for packaging. This factory manufactures an incredible 300,000 hot dogs an hour. That's close to 2.5 million per shift. They really do churn them out like sausages. Fire up the grill and a mouth-watering meal is just minutes away.
Future of hot dogs. First, introduction of nutritious hot dogs. Second, made of less sodium. And lastly, new varieties of hot dogs are also being produced, such as cheese-containing dog, a product which is injected with a cheese sauce during manufacture.